my name is Cormaine. Today we share with you guys how I heal the first boss inside of Ruby Life Pools, Melidrussa Chillworm. I've nerfed this boss several times, but she's still pretty hard to heal, especially on a high tyrannical key. We're going to be looking at a key we did a few days ago. This is Tyrannical Spiteful Grievous. So it is a spooky boss. We also are not going to have lust on this boss because we had to lust the trash. So right now you see that she's activating. We're actually going to be pulling the whelps into the boss. These are whelps from the other room. These are like extra trash packs, extra count. They're also good funnel when you pull the boss for us. We also have thundering going into this. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be staffing. I have to say normally the first thing that I would be doing is I would have a temporal anomaly out, and then also like fire breath, and then I would use like some golden hour healing to top us after we drop off these hail bombs, and also have like fire breath leaping flame stacks ready. But since we had thundering here and I wanted to staff before things got crazy, I decided to staff here. But it's fine. So the first chill storm is about to come out. So normally what I do is the first chill storm, I use that to set up my stasis, and then I activate my stasis during the second chill storm. And then I usually Emerald Communion the first set of ads. However, all of that is going to go a bit differently because we were pulling this boss on a choices that less, so we're going to get an extra chill storm. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. Okay, so first thing that happens here, the druid gets the circle. It looks like he didn't get out in time to not take an extra big tick there, so I immediately Verdant Embrace him. So normally I would just step a stasis, immediately just dream breath, and then full channel like a spirit bloom or something, and that's enough to keep us alive. But because he took an extra tick here, I'm going to activate Tip the Scales, and his Tip the Scales is Spirit Bloom, and then press my dream breath. Both work, both are fine, but normally I just like to try and save my Tip the Scales for later in the fight. Not a big deal though, because I'm going to at least get one more during this fight, because it's going to be a long one for sure. Okay, so we just spread out for Quaking. We're going to stack back up for the Hail Bombs. I'm putting out some Echoes right now. This way I can get out some like real like stronger versions instead of just reversions from my TA, because those are weaker. And I'm going to try my best to remember who I put those on and not override them with some weak reversions if I can. And I'm basically just always trying to use my echoes from my temporal anomaly to do like Verdant Embrace type ramps, and then trying to use like real like echoes on reversions during a fight like this. It's really heavy healing. But now I just activated my temporal anomaly. I got stasis or echoes on everyone, and I'm getting ready to activate my stasis during this chill storm. The Demon Hunter gets it this time. Thankfully, it doesn't take any extra ticks. And before I actually activate my stasis, I'm going to Verdant Embrace before so we get Lifeline on everyone. And then I'm going to activate my stasis. So even though this has a Verdant Embrace in it, and I didn't need to do that to like buff my Dream Breath because it's already going to get buffed, I do that anyways just so that I get as much extra healing inside this window as I can. Because as you can see, it's a 26. I'm taking a lot of damage from this chill storm. I also get some bad quaking there. Happy that I had a stasis set up for that one so that quaking didn't screw me over. I put out another temporal anomaly, and then I activate some golden hour healing on everyone there with some reversions. I put out some real echoes there again, and put out some actual some actual reversions because I accidentally overrode some. I do that all the time. So this chill storm is one that I'm not used to getting. So since we got a third chill storm we're not usually ready for, and we got quaking at the same time, I decided to Zephyr here. And then I'm not going to have a whole bunch of healing here. I'm just going to Life Bind and then Dream Breath afterwards. It's fine because we have the Zephyr rolling. We're going to let that just fine. And then it goes straight into the ad phase. So I'm Fire Breathing here to get some Leaping Flame stacks. And then, so normally my plan here is to Emerald Communion the first one. And then the second one I have a stasis set up for. And if one of those goes on too long, then I'll rewind it. However, because we got the third chill storm, which has never happened before, since we didn't have lust and stuff, I put out my echoes, and I don't have Verdant Embrace. So the next tick is, so I'm kind of like deciding, I'm like, how low are we gonna get on this next tick? Do I have to rewind, or is my Verdant Embrace going to be enough if I get it in time, and then I can Emerald Communion? Because I would much rather do that, because it's only a 3-minute CD, and on a long enough fight, I'll get another one of these, whereas I probably won't get another one because rewind is on 4 minutes. So the next tick goes out, and I decide 1.2 seconds is too long, I'm going to press rewind. And that's how we live there. So I've just used rewind. I'm a little bit upset, but it's fine. I know I can make it work. Again, I would normally use Emerald Communion there, though, if you're wanting to model it after what I would normally do. I use my Leaping Flame stacks there to do some healing at the end. My tank is taking a lot of damage here. So he was taking a bunch of whelps on pull, and now he's got a bunch of extra whelps. So normally he benefits a lot from the cleave, especially with Divine Toll, but this along, having to hold this much stuff, it's a lot of extra damage that he's not used to taking. So I was firing up a Fire Breath there to have some Leaping Flame stacks in order to heal this pretty well. However, I ended up getting this, which also means I'm not going to have a great time casting my Temporal Anomaly in time beforehand, which I normally would be able to if I didn't get targeted with this. So it's a good thing I didn't use my Emerald Communion, because I'm pretty sure I ended up using it here. Yes, okay, so I ended up Emerald Communion. I didn't even actually hit the Rogue, but it looks like he's fine. Good for me. And then our tank also ends up bubble taunting there. I think I didn't cleanse his stacks there. And he was freaking out. Oh no, he was just getting low after the. Oh, because he had a heavy time dilation on him. That's what he was scared of when that went off. Okay, that was a good bubble from him. Because I TD'd him and he sacked me. So right now we're dropping the hail bombs. We're getting ready for another hailstorm. So I think so right now I'm thinking, okay, we're getting this chill storm. Also, our rogue got hit by a lightning swirly, but thankfully he's fine. We're gonna dream breath that. So we just got that chill. That was the second chill storm after the ads. So we're expecting one more chill storm, and then we're expecting the ads after that. So usually during the chill storm right before the ads, this is where I like to set up my stasis. So right here is where I'm going to try and set up my stasis to put out a temporal anomaly, even though I didn't need to. I don't know why I did that. Sometimes I watch this back and I wonder. Anyway, so I took the skills a Spirit Bloom in there, and then I didn't have my Dream Breath right away, so I ended up just putting a Reversion on my tank because he was getting pretty low and I wanted Golden Hour healing on him. Could have been an Echo, could have been anything in there. I could have pressed Stasis before I pressed my TA. That would have been the smarter move, but I wasn't really thinking ahead that I didn't have my Dream Breath. Just so you know though, that would have been smarter than what I did. Ended up using my Dream Breath here, putting out my Stasis. I used that on some Reversion healing, putting out a Fire Breath to get some Leaping Flame stacks. I'm going to have to probably hard cast some Echoes here to make sure that, yeah, that we're going to be okay going into this. So again, I'm going to press my Verdant Embrace before I press my Stasis. I'm just trying to delay pressing my Stasis as long as I can to get as much out of it as I can. And I'm going to activate it. Put out a Spirit Bloom for this last little tick. Thankfully, this phase doesn't last too long. Sometimes I know the DPS just want to pad, especially in a pug, and it can be really hard to get through that. But thankfully, these players know to actually press their buttons. Okay, the next chill storm is coming out. So my Boomkin has just pressed Incarn, and he's pressed Nature's Vigil. So I'm pretty much like not going to heal very much during this because Incarn plus Nature's Vigil here, especially he has like a little bit of cleave left, not a lot. But he does have a lot of damage here, and I get sack here, so we're pretty safe. So like all I really end up doing is like pressing like Lifeline on my tank and like not even finishing that Dream Breath because I realize, oh, actually this Nature's Vigil thing owns, and I don't even need to use that. I'm going to save that for the next one. So here again, I get targeted with this Chill Storm. Probably just going to be a Verdant Embrace into a Dream Breath. Really annoying whenever you get the thing and you have to reposition. But again, it's fine. I also have Zephyr for this one. That's also why I was in the air. Yeah, so I got targeted with it and I decided I'm going to Zephyr because you're not going to get as much healing out. I don't usually script my Zephyr that much. As you saw, like I used the Zephyr on the third Chill Storm. I decided to use on that one because I got targeted and I didn't have like any instant healing. Like I didn't have a Tip to Scales or a Rewind or an Emerald Communion or just some kind of fail-safe healing because I knew my healing was going to get delayed by at least another global than it normally would. You can always just Verdant Embrace straight out of the Chill Storm, which is something I would do this week because it's fortified, but sometimes it's a little bit tricky if you do it too early on that first tick to get enough, make sure that everyone is topped before the Chill Storm comes out. So right here we're dropping the hail bombs, and this is I think this is where everything goes bad. Okay, yeah, this is where things go bad. So spoiler alert, we don't actually kill this boss. We're gonna have a 0% wipe, and you're gonna see how. It wasn't due to healing though, so I'm still fine giving you guys this video as an example. So as I said, we pull those whelps on pull for extra cleave, and then after the ads die, normally our tank goes and activates the eggs, but the Boomkin says here, I got this, I'm gonna go activate the whelps. And he went to activate the whelps and he immediately died. So that was, we didn't know that would happen. He dies, so that's gonna take up a battle res for us. So we get this next Chill Storm. This one, I start pre-casting a Spirit Bloom. I don't always get to do this, but sometimes I do. Most of the time I wasn't getting to do this just because of like quaking and getting targeted, but like ideally you can do that as much as you want. I also activate my stasis here, so I'm gonna have this ready for later on. So stasis not very good, to be honest with you, but it's fine because I just wanted to get through that chill storm because I just didn't have anything. I didn't have a defensive for myself. You know, I didn't have anything else going on, and I know for the next one I have Tip the Scales, and the one after that I'm going to have Emerald Communion. So I'm pretty comfortable putting out like a mediocre stasis and using that stasis in that same chill storm just by looking at my CDs. Okay, so this is where everything goes downhill. So we get these hail bombs, Thundering spawns, there's a swirly in the water, and it looks just like the water. And I die. And we don't have a battle res left. So we end up wiping here at, I think, pretty much just like 1%. Like they just end up, I'm pretty sure they just end up bleeding out right here. Yeah. Our rogue like tries to 1v1 at the end. However, again, we had Tip the Scales available for this next one. I would have Tip the Scales probably a Dream Breath because I wouldn't have had Spirit Bloom available. And then if we managed to get another one, I would have Emerald Communioned. Still a decent enough example to show you guys how to heal. I want to give you guys a good example of like a high key, and we didn't have less in it, just to show you how to live for a long time on this boss by using all the tools available to you. So yeah, good luck inside of Ruby Life Pools. I hope you learned something, and good luck in your keys this week. Thank you.